Good morning, San Mateo County. Thank you for joining us. You're watching Sustainability Matters, our February installment, focusing on home electrification. Good morning and welcome. We'll get started in just one moment here. All right. Hi, San Mateo County. Welcome. My name is Camille Lang. I'm a resource conservation specialist with the county's Office of Sustainability. Thank you for joining us and good morning. Let us know in San Mateo County where you're tuning in from. We'd love to welcome you into this space. And as you do that, let me introduce myself and what we'll be discussing live today. So if you have any questions for our panelists, you're also welcome to add those into the chat. But let us know, where in San Mateo County are you tuning in from today? So good morning and welcome again to our monthly installment of Sustainability Matters, where we bring local specialists in the field to discuss crucial sustainability and climate action topics and solutions in the context of San Mateo County. In today's Sustainability Matters, we will be diving deeper into home electrification. What is it? Why does it matter? And what resources are available to you as a San Mateo County resident that will help you reduce climate impacts at home with your energy usage? My name is Camille Lang, and I'm a sustainability specialist with San Mateo County's Office of Sustainability. Not only do I have the privilege of being your host today, but I also get to support running our social media channels. My favorite part of this role is when we get to be in spaces like this that provide opportunities for everyone who lives, works, and plays in San Mateo County to feel connected to each other and establish a community of climate action and awareness throughout our beautiful peninsula. I don't know about you, but all this time at home has given me more of an opportunity to notice what's around me. I notice when the little sparrows who are now fully settled in a nest outside my office window here. I notice when my neighbors have their gardeners come by and run some of the loudest lawnmowers I have ever heard. But I also have been able to notice more of what is going on inside my home. I'm much more aware of when the lights are on or off in the space, if that's natural light or the harsh lighting I have of a light right here at my desk. And I've also started to cook a little bit more in my home kitchen, and that's helped me look into more of what's going on in my home appliances and how much energy usage is used in my home just in the kitchen. There's been a lot of new household habits that I've gotten into with cooking cooking in my kitchen, and so I've just been learning about it a lot more. It's been a really interesting realm of sustainability to look into in my kitchen specifically, and I'm thrilled to be joined by some local experts today in this space because let me tell you, I have questions. But before I go any further, I'm curious to know what you all think of when we hear the words sustainability, home energy, electrification, energy efficiency, and type those in the chat for us. I'm curious to know, what do you all think of when you think of those words? Sustainability. We think about sustainability and electrification as building a sustainable community that fulfills the needs of the present and the future. And to achieve this mission, we engage directly with communities to understand their needs and to ensure that we deliver programs that are centered with broad input and equity. We also work across county departments to help them to integrate sustainability into their work, and we work extensively with our 20 partner cities. Our programs in the Office of Sustainability are designed to bring solutions today, but we're also solving for tomorrow, trying to really look ahead here. We have programs that help the county both fight and prepare for climate change. We have programs to help ensure clean energy, water, and air, and that conserve resources for future generations through waste reduction. And we work to create livable communities that have affordable housing near transit that are both bikeable and walkable. Today, we're joined by some local experts to explore and understand the topic of energy efficiency and energy reduction in our homes. To learn more about any of the programs I just mentioned, feel free to check us out online at smcsustainability.org. So with that, welcome again. We're so excited to see you all and get to connect with you about home energy and energy reduction in our homes. I'm going to start by introducing our panelists next. If you have any questions for our panelists throughout this live stream event, feel free to type them in the chat and we'll make sure that we get to answer those questions live. I'm joined by many different partners who all support electrifying San Mateo County to reduce our impact on climate change. First, I'm joined by my colleague at the Office of Sustainability, Alero Moju. Alero, good morning and welcome. Let me turn it over to you here.
Hello, good morning, everyone. As Camille nicely introduced me, I'm Alero Moju, and I'm a sustainability specialist with San Mateo County's Office of Sustainability. And I'm the county representative for BayREN single-family home, multifamily home, codes and standards, and green labeling program. And to start off with, I think it would be great to just introduce BayREN in general and what that means and what that stands for. So BayREN stands for the Bay Area Regional Energy Network. It is a community program that helps Bay Area residents save energy, live more comfortably, and improve their indoor air quality. And BayREN connects residents to a free team, keyword free here, of engineers who can help them with their specific needs. And we have some of those engineers here today. Woohoo! And they are going to be helping us out to discuss a few questions. So first and foremost, I would love to introduce Jeffrey.
Hello.
Welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Following, I would like to introduce Kimberly.
Oh, Kimberly's, I think Jason's next, actually.
Oh,
so
sorry. Jason.
Hello, I'm Jason.
Welcome, Jason.
Thank you. Hello.
Now, Kimberly.
All right. Kimberly's having some connectivity issues, so we're just going to move on to our final panelist for today. And that is Prashant Arya. Prashant is a volunteer with San Mateo County's Office of Sustainability, working to research and identify different kitchen appliances and an energy reduction in those appliances. Good morning, Prashant, and welcome.
Yeah, good morning, all. Thanks. Yeah, nice to have it.
Good morning. All right. So why don't we kick stuff off? Hopefully, Kimberly will be able to join us shortly. So to begin with, it would be nice to just go over a basic understanding of what energy efficiency and electrification is. So the first question that we have here is, how do you define energy efficiency and electrification? So Jason, what are your thoughts?
I'd be happy to give some input on that. So I'm an energy advisor for the BayREN Home Plus Energy Advising Service. We have free and unlimited energy advising. So anyone listening on this or in the future, feel free to reach out to us, and that information to contact us will be available after this presentation. What we look at is what can we do to meet the homeowner's needs. When it comes to efficiency, a lot of people think, I need new windows, I need new doors, and we try to alleviate a lot of pain in that thought process that you probably don't need those. Maybe they just need to be sealed and tightened. Same thing with the house. Try to separate it from the rest of the house. What are the cost-effective upgrades? As far as electrification goes, there are so many options. Water heaters, gas furnaces, wall heaters, gravity, domestic hot water, so the old gravity furnaces and gravity water heaters and boilers that we see, floor furnaces, those can all be replaced with electric options. There's low-hanging fruit. You might still have incandescents. What can we do to reduce that electric load by those smaller things? Maybe you've got a really old electric water heater, and it still works. Maybe we can put a insulation cover on it. Maybe there's something we can do to help you just reduce a little bit of energy, or maybe you're ready to move forward and you want to electrify everything. I want to do solar. Well, what can we do to modify your home, adjust it, make it more comfortable, make it more efficient and more safe while you're working on that electrification and efficiency journey? That's basically what we do and how we can help out with folks.
Yeah. And I will say, I'm not an engineer. I actually I manage the rebate program. And just to give a quick plug, we give up to about $4 million a year in rebates. And we've upgraded over 10,000 homes since 2013. And each home is up eligible for up to $5,000 in rebates. So check out bayren.org, and you can also find the Home Energy Advisors line and email where you can talk to people like Jason. But I just kind of throwing a quick analogy out there. I kind of think like most of our homes are almost like old Hummers running on flat wheels. They're like, we've updated our phone so many times, and we've probably updated our cars, but our homes are, I live in a 100-year-old home, and most of us, don't think about updating our home and the systems in it. But I've been doing this for probably about 10, 15 years now. And I know a lot of people always think, oh, let's do solar, let's do windows. But if you haven't improved all those things in your home where the leaks and, we find out that duct systems leak on average 30%. So, all that heat could be going into your attic right now. When it's cold, you want that heat in your home, but maybe it's making the rats and spiders really happy up in your attic. So, I kind of, the whole green building and all these terms get really general. So I just tell people it's better building. It's like building, like making your house the way you would make it if you knew all these things, right? You making it more efficient, fixing all those things, and then electrifying it so that it's making it run on cleaner energy. And it's also better for you in the house.
That's so interesting, really thinking about like how energy efficiency is helping take care of like the things that we, like other things we would always update all the time,
right.
and like not thinking about our home in the same way. That's so interesting.
I mean, we obviously like electric vehicles are great, but we don't spend nearly as much time in our cars as our homes, especially now. And so thinking about how do we, I think there's just not enough information on how to do it. So, that's part of what the energy advisors are here for.
Yeah, and I think this is a good time for me to come in to bring perspective from the other side as a homeowner in the San Mateo County. I think I've been privileged to work with BayREN team over the last 6 months as a sustainability ambassador, volunteering on a couple of projects. And that really helped me better understand what energy efficiency means and electrification means. So I think as a homeowner, I've always been very interested to understand like what can I do in my own capacity to really contribute to the whole climate action and whatnot. And I think it all starts with understanding these terms, energy efficiency and electrification. I mean, from my perspective, energy efficiency basically means how can I reduce my energy footprint in terms of the comfort I, expect from my home. As Jeffrey said, like, maybe we have been ignorant about knowing all these things, but I think that's a good starting point. And electrification is essentially like moving away from appliances and things in our home which still run on gas, which we all understand is as a contributor to climate change, and what is the best path to move away from them and get more electric appliances in the home. So I think that's just a perspective from the other side.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much. Go ahead, Jeff.
I feel like not just because I'm bald, but that phrase from like the her club for men, I'm not just the president, but I'm a client as well. I feel like that's for me because I moved into the house. I live in San Francisco, an old 100-year-old house, and I am in the process of doing this myself. But one quick story is we moved here in the middle of the pandemic in October of 2020. And what sold my wife, and so I have a wife and 2 kids. And at that point, our youngest was 1 month old, and it was 95 degrees in our San Francisco apartment. And on that hottest day of the year, we actually came, we had to set an appointment to go to this open house. And when we came into this house, it was 80 degrees. So it's not like 72, but 80 degrees is a huge difference, especially when you have a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old and a 1-month-old. And I knew, knowing what I know about building science, I looked up in the attic, and it's not perfect, but there's a good amount of insulation. And I knew that because of that, we could keep a pretty steady temperature here in the house. And that even though my wife is from the Midwest and is used to all that heat, lives in all that heat, she can't handle any of that heat. So that's what sold her on this house, is that we can actually live here and when it's like hot. And actually, even on this pretty cold day, I'm fairly comfortable. I've turned it down to 66 because I don't mind it. But we haven't had to turn on the heat very often because of that insulation that we know that's up there. So that's, always one of the first things I talk about instead of like, windows and solar.
I love that. That's so interesting. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like it's great to see you like looking around your home too, Jeffrey. Like we're here, right? We're in these spaces. I'm just trying to like reconnect and understand more of like how to make this place comfortable for us, right? We're just hanging out here, so that's great. Alara, I had a question for you. How would you define energy efficiency and electrification for someone that's renting a space rather than owning a home?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it's different because when you're a homeowner, you have a little bit more control as to the changes you can make in that space. And as a renter, you kind of have to see what's within your like grasp, right? You can't really change the insulation in your home. You might be able to talk to your property manager, but depending on like where you live, that may or may not be feasible. But I definitely say it's just being mindful and having an understanding of what is possible for you. And I think BayREN does a really good job of providing some information for renters, like myself, as to like how to be able to manage my space. So there's there's a energy savings toolkit. And then there's also a tips article on the BayREN website too for renters, which is super helpful. And that information and those resources will be provided to you guys too. So for all you renters out there listening in.
That's great. Thanks so much. Jeffrey was just mentioning that it's been a little chillier recently, and we have a question from the audience asking about what to do in this like surprisingly cold weather. Let me put it on the screen for us so y'all can see it. Here we go. So it says, thank you for the program this morning. Thank you, Daniel, for tuning in. We appreciate it. It's been really cold lately. Should we be using our space heaters or central heating to be the most energy efficient? Just bringing up that term. What do you think, Jason?
Well, that's a pretty in-depth question, but we're used to, many folks with central air are used to overriding and turning it on and off. And well, it's going to be cold tonight, but we'll turn it off and we're going to change our behavior. We're going to wear more clothes. We're going to tell the kids or the spouses, just deal with it. And that's not really where we want you to be. We want you to be comfortable. When it comes to space heating, electric space heaters, we will usually recommend the roll around radiator types, not the discs that are infrared that feel hot if you look at them, but that energy doesn't really absorb into objects around it very easily. It's more heating the air temperature, which is not a thermal mass, and it takes a lot of energy to turn that air temperature so it feels comfortable. But if late at nighttime you turn off the space heaters, you turn off the central air, and that house leaks like a sieve, and you can imagine if you had a door wide open and the house was really, really tight, you know that air coming in through that door is going to make that space cool, or it's going to make it hot. If you take all the little nooks and crannies and little holes that exist throughout our house that allow energy to transfer from outside to inside, at nighttime while you're asleep, the toilet seat will absorb that energy. The floor below your bed, when you walk out with bare feet, you'll notice that is getting colder now. And you might flip on that thermostat. The primary thing with whatever you have for a heating device is see if you can, in the meantime, before you insulate and air seal, while you're trying to deal with this today, I would say it's kind of a mixture if you're looking for efficiencies. If your house does leak like a sieve, you're not going to want to turn that central air up because it's just going to go right up through the top of it, pull in cool air from below, and it's this continuous loop. And you'll get something called cycling, where the furnace comes on and then it turns off, and then it turns on and then it turns off. And that's a common symptom of having a house that leaks or having something that's poorly insulated. So as far as what to use, I'd say use the space heaters close to your primary living areas, your office, your home office, maybe under the desk. Keep that energy kind of around your body and such. Let it absorb into the objects with one of those roll arounds. And then, as you go to bed, maybe use the central air to kind of use a whole house heating. But until you insulate and you air seal, or unless you're able to retain and sustain temperature, the bills go up, and I'm sorry you have to deal with that. But space heating is great in small vicinities, short time, maybe no more than like 6 hours at a time, and then whole house, bring it up, be comfortable. But if it cycles like that, definitely reach out to us.
That sounds great. Thanks, right. Jason.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I think, Alera, if you wanted to introduce our next panel discussion question.
Ooh, yes, absolutely. So my next question for you all is, in your opinion, where should someone start when they're looking to make changes at home? And I think, Jeffrey, I would love to hear your experience with this.
Sure. Yeah, like I say, a lot of people, I've been kind of working in energy efficiency for over a decade. And whenever we do an event, people are like, I know I need to do windows and solar. And I'm like, no, that's not actually what you do. It's almost like if you were sick and you went to the doctor and say, oh, I know what pills I need to take. Just give them to me and I'll be fine. I'll be on my way. That's not the right process, right? We want to use a scientific method to figure out what's wrong. And so we have a couple tools. And just to help understand and diagnose, right? Like you going to the doctor, they running the tests on you, and then they giving you a plan, a prescription, exercise more. So similar to that, we have a really light touch one, which is in the spring there will be a nonprofit called Rising Sun Center for Opportunity, who offers these free greenhouse calls, and it's for youth to go out, local youth, to kind of have a summer job to go out and do some of these really quick audits through the house. And they will help install LEDs and do some like smart strips. So it's very basic things. And then moving on up, you to take a look more at the, what are the components of your house and how they perform, kind of if you have enough insulation, that kind of stuff. We have a program called Home Energy Score. Again, you can go to BayREN.org and find us there. And that you'll get, I think, essentially $200 to $250 rebate for someone to come out to your house, about an hour to go and assess how old is your heater, how old is your water heater, do you have enough insulation, all these things, so that you can get, this is actually run by the United States Department of Energy, and it gives you a score from 1 to 10 to show how you compare to other homes in your area of the same size, and give you a set of recommendations. And that is really the best way. Now you have a set of recommendations. You can go to one of our contractors. We have participating contractors who do this work and get that rebate for you, so you don't actually have to fill out the rebate paperwork. But then now you have a plan to say, okay, the assessor said I should probably put in some more insulation up to R44, because right now I'm at R13 or something. And so now okay, that's probably the most cost effective. Let's do that. And then let's, your ducts are leaking 50%. Let's seal them up or maybe even replace them. And so now you have a plan for what is the most cost effective way to fix it all. And then hopefully you electrify, you take advantage, always be in touch with our energy advisors, because they can also link you into any other kind of complementary programs, whether it's financing or other programs are available out there to help you get there.
I love it. I love a to-do list. And it's so nice to hear that there's so many people out there to support that. And especially that like key insight to like how to do it.
Yeah.
That's great. Prashant, I'd like to hear what you think, what you would recommend.
Yeah, I can so much relate to what Jeff shared as a small story, because I pretty much started as that patient who said like, yeah, let me just get a solar installed in my home, because that's like my signature to say that I'm in for climate action. And that's when I stumbled upon this energy audit thing, and I was like, yeah, why not? Let me get a better understanding of what's happening. Fortunately, I'm in a house which was built like 10 years ago, so it kind of checked out on most of insulation and all the things which Jason was talked about. But I think one thing which came out was that I didn't realize that how many of my appliances are still run on gas, which means that even if I install a solar power, it only can do as much in terms of my electrical appliances. So that was interesting, eye-opening, and that what triggered essentially my current sustainability ambassador volunteership, because I have a gas stove, I have a gas-powered water heater and whatnot, and I became curious, and and now I'm doing this project with BayREN on like how to increase the adoption of induction cooktops versus a gas cooktop. The only other thing I would add is that we are fortunate to be part of San Mateo County, because BayREN and PG, like BayREN has in our county has been part of this program, and we have this energy utility, Pacific. Sorry, I forgot the name. The
Peninsula Clean Energy.
Peninsula Green Energy. Thanks, Alero. And that was probably one of the easiest thing I could do. I could just switch to Peninsula Clean Energy as my energy provider, because they are using almost 100% renewable energy, and that's, to me, is probably the one good starting point for anyone who is residing in our county. It's slightly costlier, but it gives you peace of mind that you are contributing to reducing the carbon footprint from your home. So yeah, those are the couple of things which I just wanted to share.
Yeah.
And one quick thing to point out is, before you put solar on, you want to, make sure you of course seal up everything properly so you're not wasting energy, but you also want to know what you're going to move to electric so that you can size your solar properly. So solar is probably the last item you do on your journey, because you want to know, water heater, which is often one of the biggest users, can you switch that to electric? Can you switch your heating and cooling to electric? I will also say, as a father of two young children, you probably want to think about getting all gas out of your house as much as possible, because burning anything in your house causes combustion byproducts like methane, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, things that cause asthma. We've heard that, homes with a gas, children who grow up in homes with a gas stove are 42% more likely to get asthma. And so, that's one of my primary reasons, besides the fact that it's a lot more precise and a lot quicker to heat up. So that's why, we really advocate for this order of efficiency first and then electrification.
Great. And do you mind just clarifying for us and viewers what the difference is between PG&E and PCE, Peninsula Clean Energy? I don't think everyone would be as familiar and know the difference.
Sure.
And BayREN as well.
PG&E, yes.
Oh, and BayREN.
And BayREN.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
Like three of them.
Yeah, this is my job, and it's like confusing just to keep everybody clear. But PG&E, they are the gas utility, and they deliver energy. They deliver gas and well, maybe just to make it less confusing. So PCE, Peninsula Clean Energy, they source your electricity for you. So they can go out and try to get more renewable sources. That's why PCE has a higher renewable mix than PG&E. But they basically get that energy, but PG&E still delivers it to you. So when you get your bill, you'll see PG&E, but you'll see the line item, and people think, oh, this is an extra charge. It's not. It's just that PG&E used to source that energy, electricity for you, but now it's PCE. So it's replaced the PG&E portion. BayREN is a 9-county collaborative, so just the Bay Area, and we receive, whenever you pay your PG&E bill, there's a public goods charge which goes to the state to run programs for energy efficiency, and so that money then comes back to BayREN to administer these rebate programs. So you're essentially already, you've already paid for this service, so that's why we have. We're trying to help. We have no stake in this except to help you and our buildings become more energy efficient.
Great.
That's so helpful.
You.
Thank you. Yeah.
We do have did anyone have anything else to add? No?
I'll say when you're looking at electrification, we being kind of the shoe shiner, or we're always listening, we're always observing, we're always hearing what homeowners, contractors have to say. We get a lot of homeowners that reach out to us, and again, they say windows and doors or something. And a lot of them will say, I'm doing electric upgrades from knob and tube. Talk to us about that. We're happy to walk you through kind of the safety concerns. Panel upgrades is something that's often said. Well, the electrician said I need a 200 amp panel. That's huge. And unless you've got a family of 4, lots of pets, and you are using a ton of energy, it's probably not necessary. You could probably get away with a 100 amp panel or up to a 3,000 square foot house, all electric with chargers for EV and solar. So it's very, very possible. Don't be, caught off guard and you hear, the prices of 50 grand for all this stuff. Good chance that we can really help you out. If you have only $100, there's things you can do. But when it comes to electrification, definitely reach out to us if you have any questions.
That's great. Thank you both so much. There's another question from an audience member. If you have questions as we're discussing these with the panel that's here today, feel free to add those to the chat. We see a question here that's a resident that's concerned about costs, and we're thinking about what they can do, what they can sign up for to save money every month and reduce their energy bills. What would you all recommend?
Are they already a part of PCE? Because that can help. It just depends upon their energy usage.
Yeah. Well, would you mind just clarifying being a part of PCE? What does that mean?
Well, if you have a brand new account, you're basically already going to be enrolled into PCE. So any kind of CCA around your area. And you can look into that, see what the rates are, see what your usage is. You can reach out to them and ask them, is this plan right for me? Do I use enough energy? Do I use too much? Should I just go straight back to PG&E directly? Again, PCE is offering local rebates and incentives and their own help and their own programs to try to help people electrify. But definitely reach out to them and reach out to PG&E and find out, maybe there is a way that I can reduce my energy usage by not using a local CCA. It's not what they want to hear, and it's not what we would like, but at the same time, if it's down to your pocketbook and you're trying to get by, definitely reach out to either of them and see if one or the other is better for rates for your uses.
And what does CCA stand for, just to clarify?
Oh man, Jeffrey, you're going to have to answer that. I always forget.
It's called community choice aggregation. So it's basically saying these cities together are going to, form a group to buy energy for us.
And there's multiple ones around the Bay Area. There's BayREN Clean Energy. There's East Bay Community Energy. Palo Alto has their own. They're separate from us. There's about 7 or 8 of them around the Bay Area, I think. So.
Yeah, I can add a little bit to what Jason said. I think to me, also energy efficiency is what directly translates into the cost saving in terms of recurring cost of energy which you pay. So if you invest today, I think it's definitely a bit of longer time frame, but you kind of recoup that investment by lowering your cost of energy on a monthly basis. And secondly, I think, as Jason said, I think I also found out that there's a lot of options today to fund your electrification programs, electric appliances upgrades, not just rebates, but just financing schemes. But I think sometimes I feel like we should not see them as cost, but as more of an investment in future, because what you do today is essentially going to invest in a more sustainable future so in short term, they may feel like a cost pinch, but I think we should see them as investment in our future itself.
One quick thing to mention is I think a lot of people don't realize that we are on most everyone has been defaulted to a time of use rate, which means 4 to 9 time period is more expensive. And so if you can simply just, you don't even need to do anything, you just switching your energy use, running your dishwasher at night, after 9 o'clock, which is what we do, or, trying to maybe even preheat your house. Or, there's a couple different strategies where you can kind of shift your energy use, but because that 4 to 9 time period for most people is going to be a lot more expensive to use electricity, just simply by switching that, you can save some money. I will plug, we did a workshop last Earth Day where we had PG&E come in and explain time of use. So if you look at the our YouTube page, you can find a recording of it. It's 10-15 minutes. We'll give you some quick tips.
Awesome. And I had a question about how income, like family income, might impact your participation in the program. So what are the options based on maybe people that might have limitations when it comes to their family income?
Yeah. So there are several different programs. There's income qualified programs where you can get assistance from PG&E or from the, essentially the state. PG&E program is called Energy Savings Assistance Program, and the state program is Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. So if you Google that, you can find information. PCE actually also launched a program called Home Upgrade, which has higher limits. I don't know them off the top of my head, but if you look up, they have a program to help you install some of these efficiency measures, as well as it's required to at least do one electrification measure. And so I think, look it up. I think it covers most, if not all, and might cover all the costs. So, and then they're also, I hope I'm not spoiling this, but I think they're coming out with a financing program to be able to fund some of these improvements on your bills.
So great. And I know there's the CARE program, which that will help reduce the energy costs, and we'll provide the link for that too. And just in regards to Peninsula Clean Energy, a great place to start if you do have questions and just need clarification for everyone else is by visiting their website, which is peninsulacleanenergy.com. And there are all the programs there, including the CARE program, so it can help you sort of distinguish what works best for you. And we'll provide you the link to the website too.
That's great. Thank you so much, everyone. This discussion has been very interesting. I'm over here taking notes, like trying to figure out what I want to do next after we get out of this space. So I wanted to just turn it over to you all for final thoughts before we say goodbye. I think, Prashant, I'll start with you. What are your final thoughts on energy efficiency? What should we let residents know?
Yeah, I think it would be, I think to me, what we discussed today is going to be the key here, which is start from an energy audit, utilize this service to know more about your home as to where can you start and what are the key things to fix. Switch to PC. That's probably easiest you can do. And third is just not try to get overwhelmed and try to do everything in one go, but maybe just put yearly targets. We do these yearly kind of things. Okay, this year I'm going to replace one of these, or I want to fix this. So it doesn't feel overwhelming, and you still feel good about making some changes to your lifestyle. So I think those are my key kind of takeaways.
Yeah. Mine is simple. Call Jason or another energy advisor and have them walk you through the whole process. It's confusing. There's so much out there, but that's their whole job. They're there to walk you through, even after some people need help choosing a contractor, they can help with that. Because, we have on our contractor list, we have, lots of people who do heat pump water heaters, but maybe some of them are more focused on remodeling, whereas some of them are there to do a quick change out. So, even though we have that resource, I still tell people to call the advisor because they can be there, help you choose contractors, review your bids, even tell you, if it doesn't work for you to do the rebate right now, they'll refer you to other programs that are available. So that's our service as a government. That we don't. All our whole purpose is to make sure people get the resources they need.
Great. Jason, what are your final thoughts here?
I was going to add, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Is it Jency Sanchez? Is that right?
Yeah.
Sorry if I said it wrong. You asked, what source of energy do you propose to reduce energy pay rates? And what we would ask is, why are you paying a lot for energy? Not what the rate is, but how much energy are you using? Where can we cut back? When we say cut back, people might think, well, I'm already cold. I don't want to be more cold. I'm already over, heated in the summer. I don't want to be super hot. We're looking again, like, how can we separate the house or the environment from your living environment? How can you control that? By sustaining temperature. And then ideally, right now where I live, it's 78 degrees in this basement that I live because we have radiant floor heating. It's 2 degrees outside in Boulder, Colorado, where I work remotely. If we don't have insulation, if the house leaks like a sieve, the windows are bad, the door won't shut, it's going to get cold in here. And that boiler is going to run and run and run and run. Fortunately, the downstairs was remodeled in '94 and I'm warm. And the landlord upstairs, the house hasn't been touched since '58. And that's why she runs it and runs it and runs it, because the upstairs cannot retain and sustain. And her bills are higher. So when you're looking at these things and you're looking at, like, my bills are through the roof, what we tell people anywhere in the nation, it doesn't matter where you live, a homeowner should not have to pay for over $1 for every 10 square feet of footage in your house. If you're over that, there's plenty of room for improvement. If you're under that, great job. There's probably still room for improvement. So don't hesitate reaching out to us. Building science is a lot of fun. We use a lot of analogies to explain what's going on. We work with people of all ages everywhere across the Bay Area. So feel free to reach out to us.
That's great. And then I just wanted to turn it over to Alero quickly here. What are your final thoughts for our residents here tuning in today?
Yes. So I understand how this could feel like a lot of information and maybe even more scary to know where to start at this point. But just know that, for example, I'm here. I'm a great resource for you guys as residents. Reach out to me and I'm happy to connect you to whomever you need to be connected to and to answer questions that you may have. So please use me as a resource and I'm happy to help. And I'm so excited to be working with you all in San Mateo County.
That's so great. Well, gosh, with that, thank you so much for joining us today, Alero, Jeffrey, Jason, and Prashant. I just so appreciate the conversation we were able to have in this space, and I know the residents appreciate it as well. So we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you again for tuning in. Bye, Jason, Jeffrey, Alero, and Prashant. Here we are.
Bye.
Great. Okay, so with that, thank you all for joining us. We'll be back on every last Thursday of the month for Sustainability Matters. In the meantime, please stay connected by following us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at SustainSMC. You can find more information about the County Office of Sustainability and the work we do by visiting our website at smcsustainability.org. Thank you, and we'll see you next month. I'm Camille Lang, and this has been Sustainability Matters.